Hi, dear learner, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, sir. My name is Nirat and I am 19 years old and I am the offline student of Divya English Speaking Academy.
What do you do?
Sir, I am studying in college.
College. Okay, so my question goes for college students. Why it is important to learn English language for college students, or how college students should learn English language? Third questions can be why college students are sometimes not serious about learning English language. What can be the reasons? Let's have some discussion on this particular topic since you are college students. So go on. First of all, you tell me why people are not much serious about learning English language when they are studying in college. Being as a college students, why sometimes students don't understand the importance of learning English language? What would you like to say?
Yeah, I think sir, they don't understand the importance of English language. That's why most of the college students we see, they neglect to speak English language and to learn language, because I think they think that they are good in English and they don't need to speak in English and study in English. So that's why most of the students we can see, they neglect to speak English language and to study this language very carefully.
Okay, as you said that the students are not aware of it, or they don't understand the importance of learning English language. So why? Like, what makes them to think something like that, where they don't understand the importance of learning English language? What can be the reasons behind it?
Yes, sir. First thing is nobody who can tell them the importance of English, how important the language is, and to learn English language you can build your future and you can do a good job if you know English very perfectly. So they need any person who tell them the importance of English. You should learn English very systematically. So that's why, and they need more guidance by their teacher, by their parents about English language. So I think they are missing this kind of thing.
Okay, all right. So not having awareness, and there is no motivation also behind that. Other reasons can be they are more comfortable with the language what they speak in college, and then sometimes don't want to put themselves in trouble of learning another language, while believing that they have certain knowledge of languages. They have like basic English grammar, and they to some extent they know, but they don't think it is very important in speaking and then taking classes for English speaking courses, something like that, which can really build up their career. That's true. So okay, fine. And then second thing, as you said, that they don't understand the importance also. Why don't they understand the importance of learning? There is no one to motivate them, and then they don't understand the importance of learning language. So why don't they understand the importance of learning language?
Yes, sir. As I said, no one who's motivate him, who tell them the importance of language. And one another thing is that they don't want to get up to their comfort zone, and they are comfortable with their local language, whoever language they speak in colleges at home. So they don't want to learn some new language, no new skills. So that's why they don't give more importance to learn language.
Okay, so having more comfortable in their own language, and that's true, because the environment, the company, the society where we live, we are habitual to speak our own language because we live. This is the tendency of human being. They are more tempted to speak their own language whenever they find people speaking their mother tongue also. That's true. But then there is a great future also, like learning international language, which can build up the lives of students, which people are not aware of, and then sometimes not willing to come out from their comfortable zone. That's true. Now let's discuss about the second point. How important it can be learning English language for college students, especially art students. Like what kind of opportunities it can bring in their life, especially when we talk about today's scenario. If college going students, they keep on developing their English speaking communication skills also very perfectly, how it can help them, like how important it is going to be learning English language, especially for college students. What do you think about it?
English language is very important for college students, basic for arts students. it is important for all, but basically because our student has a lot of free time and very less subjects to learn, that's why we are talking about our students. They need to develop that language very systematically, and it is very important for college students because they need, because if they know English language, then it will give them a good job in their future and good opportunities in future if they know English very perfectly. So that's why, if because we can see that we are seeing that college students are not giving some pain to learn this language, and they just neglect to know this language and speak. Most of the students, they can learn, but when it comes to the speaking area, they neglect because they don't need to understand, and they need to have very importance to learn this language. So that's why, but it is very important for college students to build their future good and being a good student.
Okay, so as you said that they neglect it in speaking. So most of the time don't understand the seriousness of speaking English language, how it can really build up their career. So that's true some extent, and most probably they are more familiar speaking in their own language. And we cannot say like all college students and all art students. We are talking about in general basis based on his college experience and then based on my experiences, that like most of the students are not much curious about learning language, but there are few students, they are always appreciated, they are learning, they are doing always better, they are the advanced level students. They do understand the importance of each and every areas, not only learning English. They are already doing a lot ahead than the other students, those who are studying in college.
Yes, and sir, another thing is they don't have big vision, so that's why they don't give more focus on learning language, because their vision towards life is very small. So that's why they don't need to understand and learn this language. That's why most of you students, we can see, they neglect to speak English language.
Absolutely. When we talk about having big vision, also plays the important role. Why? Because for example, I have one kind of great vision that I want myself to be known internationally. People from around the world, they do know me, and they do know about me. Who am I? What do I do? So this is going to be possible because if I have very good command over English language, and then which gives me to have conversational communication with people from around the world, and whatever skill and whatever work I do, I can do it everywhere, and then it can be internationally appreciated also. That means having big vision also plays the great role. If we don't have our vision up to international level, so having importance of learning English language is not going to be coming in our mind. Okay. Finally, let's talk about how can we motivate the college students to learn English language, and making sure that importance of learning English language, because they are already college students, they do have few periods free which can be utilized for their skills to be improved, something like this, some computer skills and then English speaking communication skills, where they do have the good communication skills and then do understand the importance of international language. So what are the areas, and then how can we influence and motivate, even why this video also, if people watch, and especially the college students, they get some motivation and do understand the seriousness of learning English language, being as a college students side by side, how they can develop international language which can give them a lot of job opportunities in their career. How can we motivate them?
So we can motivate them to understand them the importance of language and to learn some new skills which make them a good person and a good person in their future. And let's talk about the English language. Then they need to understand that they need some person who understand them the importance of English language. And Yeah, that's why they will understand the importance of English, and we can understand, we can tell them the English language is very important. It will give you a lot of opportunity in your future, and it never become a burden in your life. So that's why we can understand them in that way, and the person should yourself also be know that the importance of English.
Absolutely. So we can make them aware of by saying their job careers, the job opportunities, and then the importance of learning language can change your career, the life, and then this is not going to be extra burden for you. This is like a learning free mind and then understanding some structures and all. But another thing is that side by side, if we talk about, there are some of the institutions which are taking high amount from the students. So sometimes also the students are afraid or not interested to join in any other institutions where the amount is charged a lot from the students. So this is also one of the reasons that students sometimes don't show the interest of learning language. What do you think about it?
Yeah, sure. Because students should also analyze yourself by which institution is good for them, and who is the good teacher who can tell you good things, who can motivate you, and who can tell you English language, and learn your language very systematically and perfectly. So the students also know that which institution is good for them, and which coach is good for them. They can give you good advice regarding to your future, regarding to English language, how can you develop new skill, new language. So that's why they should also analyze that thing. And as you said, the most of the institution, they will charge high fee from them, and that's why most of the students, they just neglect to join any institution because of the fear of the high amount, and they just make them a fool. So that's why.
And some of the institutions, some of the students, they do have got some experiences of learning English language which wasn't sound enough for them, and then they also neglected. Next question will be better to deal or talk about or have discussion how the students can get misled, how somebody can mislead the students. Like if someone wants to learn English language, maybe a college students, some of the institutions, maybe some of people, those who can mislead the students, not deal directly how language can be learned. So what are the points which can mislead students learning English language?
Yeah, if a student want to learn English language and they will join any institution, then the mislead thing, number one is that they can
Giving guarantee without understanding the basic knowledge of students, maybe 3 months guarantee course, 1 month guarantee course. I think these are also misleading statements when we say, okay, this is the guaranteed course, because until unless we don't work on students' life, 1 month student doesn't understand us, we don't understand students, we don't have mutual understanding the level of students, of a teaching, how it is going to impact in his life, then slowly we can come to the conclusion how long it is going to be taking for him to learn language. But giving guarantee without knowing students, maybe 40 hours package, 22 hours package, learn English in 36 hours. So what you think about these kind of statements?
Yes,
Also
you
sometimes
said.
can mislead.
Yeah, sir, you said right. They give guarantee learn English in 3 months, in 4 months, but they don't have much idea about that. They definitely can learn English in 3 months, and that kind of things mislead the students. When after the 2 months they can't learn English very perfectly, and they thought that I can't learn English, and they just fell down by yourself because they think that I am not a good student to learn English language, and they also think that English is very difficult language. I never can learn it and speak it in my life. And I also feel that, and I also have a friend that he had that bad experience with institutions.
And one more thing I just wanted to say, lot of institutions are there around the world which are helping students to learn English language, and then we see that some of the students joining different institutions and all finally coming to the conclusion that everything I understood about in English language, but I'm not confident in speaking. Why this is lacking? The speaking part, why this is lacking in the lives of students, even after joining some of the institutions, spoken English classes here and there, still the confidence is not being built up in the lives of students. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
because yes, you said right. The speaking area is still lacking when we join any institution, in English speaking institution, because they don't give the practice on speaking area. They just their main focus is that writing some rules, making notes, and making a copy register in 2 3 months, and they don't give a much speaking practice. That's why most of the people, even joining a good institution, they can lacking mild speaking area. So that's why.
They're just focusing on the grammar
Yeah.
most of
They
the
just
time.
most of time they just focus on the rules of the grammar and the more grammar work, and don't need much focus on the speaking.
So yeah, viewers, this has to be understood. This has to be noted. Actually, writing English grammar on your notebook, maybe from the grammar book, from the teachers, wherever you are learning English, writing English on your notebook is not going to help you to speak English language. It doesn't mean that writing is not important. Better to have the idea of some of the structures, how it will function language, but speaking language always requires the practice. For practice, we need an expert, a coach, a teacher if you want to learn language within short period of time, with whom you have regular interaction, who finds out your mistakes and who influences you also how language can be spoken out, because you do get the opportunity to listen English language from him constantly whenever you are joining in his classes. And finally, let's talk about few minutes your feedback of learning English language, what you feel, how college students can learn language, how did you build up the confidence in English language till now, whatever you are able to speak, and then how you can suggest someone how they supposed to be, how should they learn language, a learning language journey, how will it begin, what are the important things, and then how did you learn language. Go on now.
Yes, sir. I have completed here the 6 month course. I think that if you want to speak a good English and to learn good complete course, you just need maximum the 6 month course is good for you if you want to speak a good English and become a good in English. So and my experience was very good. I have learned a lot of things from here, and I have gained much confidence in English while speaking. And we just did a lot of speaking conversation and debate competition and competition on any topic. So my experience was very good here, and I learned a lot of things. As I said, I feel that after learning English language, my life is completely changed. Even in college, I find more confidence while talking in front of the teacher, giving any lecture, any command to others in English, and my confidence also increased very much. And my suggestion for you, that for basically for the college student, is that keep hard working, learn English language skill, how to speak, how to write in English. These are very important thing in today time, because English is very necessary and very compulsory language in English in today time. So that's why. And one thing is, you should work hard for English language. It not come in the 2 3 months. If you give your time, and if you have a good coach, a good teacher who can motivate you and tell you what is the bad thing and what is the good thing, what should you do, what should you don't do, this kind of instruction, if you have any person, any good teacher who can guide you, then you are very you in a very good state. And so keep working hard, and you can learn English very systematically and very good if you find a good teacher. And this academy is very good for me. I personally find that I learn a lot of things from this academy. The teacher is very good, and I learned basically I am the offline student of this academy, but I also have classes to online and offline both. In online classes, I did a conversation with other topics and with other students in online classes, and offline sir personally insist me in the academy. So I am very glad for this academy, and this academy really motivates me and really I am very thankful for that.
Yeah, so I do appreciate, and then the purpose of bringing this video is always whatever we are teaching, the people must know, and the students should also get confident of speaking. As the Chirag gave his feedback, learning language, that he is always telling, having good coach and the teacher can help you to build up. You may learn by yourself also, but it will take a lot of time. Sometimes you may not be having that confident. Learning language from an expert is always helpful. It will help you to learn language within a short period of time. The teacher will keep on guiding you and then insisting you what are the areas you should be improving. Instruction will be given, how are you doing and where are you making some mistakes and all. And then working hard, which is very important. Sometimes these days we find the teenagers are not willing to work hard. We want to get something without working hard, which is not possible. So always we need to make sure if we want to achieve in our life anything, it requires the hard work. We should be giving our 100%. And then as he has attended online classes, offline classes also, the confident whatever you see, so I shouldn't be saying much, and you can see the confident the way he's speaking English language. So the purpose to make this video was all about, especially for college students, dear students, making sure that time is very important. If you do get the time to learn English language being a student in college, do join English speaking courses anywhere. We don't recommend that you should be joining only in our online classes. Wherever you find good teachers, and then do develop this skill being a college students, because this will help you a lot. By the time you finish your course from the college, you do become eligible for the job, even the private sector and then as well as the government sectors as well. But knowing English doesn't mean that we know everything. This is only the language, but still this language brings a lot of opportunities in our life, in our career, that we do need to understand. Having knowledge apart from English in other languages, that is also a very good job, but then it gives one kind of exposure, the confidence to explore our knowledge internationally. This is what the benefit we have, understanding and learning English language.